Terrific. I'll let everyone just take a few seconds just to recuperate, catch their breath, etc. 1, 2. Okay, enough seconds. I think let's move along, right on along. This next person is a very good friend of mine, very good friend of everyone he meets, very good friend, period. I'd like everyone to welcome, lovingly, Iain MacNeil.
Thank you, Emery. Thank you so much for moving the mic stand, for that wonderfully warm introduction, because I really need it right now. Things haven't been good lately. You pour your heart into a book, and someone reads it, and then they write a review, and they say it lacks substance, that there's nothing here, that it's barely even a book. What am I supposed to do? It's not all prizes and prestige, One day you're in Soho, you're having a salmon salad, you're talking about a book deal, and then all of a sudden, New York Times, front page, it's a news story. But in that magazine, there is a review of your book, and it is negative. So what I'd like to do for you tonight is I would like to read you my latest novel in its entirety to just try and clear the air, because it doesn't lack substance. It is full of substance. And I'd like to just walk you through it tonight. This is my novel right here. And you'll notice that it is really quite smart. Starting with the title, quite possibly the smartest book ever written. Way out in the middle of nowhere. So right off the bat, we have a theme of isolation. And isn't that interesting? What happens to us when we're alone? I don't know. You're all with me. There is a man rising with the sun. He gets up every day at daybreak, even though his aching joints could use more rest. That is the slow death of capitalism. It's right there in the text. He does this because his potatoes are his purpose. Without Alice, he needed to find something to make his days seem whole. Growing thousands and thousands of potatoes at the little place outside the city they wished they could have spent more time at before the diagnosis seemed a perfectly fine way to keep a man his age occupied. And so now, the third theme of the novel, already within the first paragraph, having hobbies, lacks substance. For the last 5 years, every single one of his days, from start to finish, was consumed by potatoes and their progress. He rarely ate them and never once considered selling them. It was just something to do for the last 5 years. Or was it 2? Or was it 10? The farmer didn't really care either way. Grief is bad. It could do bad things to you, like lose track of time. It's really quite smart when you think about it. As always, the farmer washes, dresses, and prepares a breakfast of oatmeal and eggs over easy mixed together. This fiber and protein-rich mush couldn't hold a candle to the meals Alice and he once shared, but then again, he ate strictly for sustenance now, never for pleasure. As he usually did when weather permitted, He decides to get an early start to the day's potatoing by shoveling the mush into his mouth on the porch where he has the best view of his plots. And so that's kind of like a reference to agriculture as a form of storytelling, which I think is really quite interesting and really quite smart if you really think about it, because when you plant, it's not unlike the stories we tell people when you put a seed in the ground and grow it and it gets bigger and like more elaborate over time and cut it up, put it in a stir fry. Unfortunately, the mush never makes it to his mouth. He drops the bowl, spilling it all over the porch. The mess is of no concern, perhaps later, but he has become... Oh, sorry. Spelling mistakes are also a theme. Perhaps later, but what has become of his crops takes priority. Instead of carefully manicured rows of leaflets signaling mother tubers below, there is a house. An old Victorian monstrosity, complete with turret. "What is the meaning of this?" the farmer growls, his voice hoarse from underuse. Wordplay. The farmer storms towards the house with a vitality lost long ago and starts banging on the front door. The house is in such a state of disrepair he nearly bangs the front door off its hinges. But instead, a voice calling from inside stops him. "What do you want?" It's a young woman, her voice frail and tired like the farmer's. "I want to know just what the hell you think you're doing." "What am I doing?" "None of your damn business what I'm doing. I was sleeping. But what I'm doing now is none of your damn business. It is very early in the morning, and I would appreciate it if you are on your way." Feminism. Third wave. Ha ha ha, the farmer chuckles. "The whole damn neighborhood? There's no neighborhood out here. It's supposed to be just me and my potatoes, but then your damn house plopped down here out of nowhere and crushed them all." The door opens, just a crack. Only enough for a single eye to peek out, suspense. Now it's creaking ajar. Eee! Sound effects are our theme. "You seem very familiar to me, old man." And this is where the text ends. So I can kind of see why someone who wasn't like really... Someone had like a deadline, had to file the copy, like probably didn't have time for the subtext to wash over them and really let it speak to them, that from this point on in the book, it's all about, yes, this is a couple that's being reunited in the afterlife, and like, does love transcend different planes of existence? And I guess I maybe should have wrote that story. But I respect your intelligence too much. So if you could just make the prize money out to cash, I'll be on my way. Thank you so much.
There aren't any prizes tonight, just beauty.